Okay. All right, welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome back, or if you're here first time, welcome to the Simple Guide for World Peace Seminar, How to Achieve True Peace in 12 Steps. I'm Miki Morita. I'll be your MC for tonight. So today's topic is going to be about siblings love, brothers and sisters love. So we're very excited to hear from our lecturer of today. But before we go to the main lecture, I would like to take a few minutes to reflect on the lecture from last week with an activity question. So I will share my screen. So let's go ahead and think about this topic today. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
It's okay? Okay, good. Great. So, so let's go through these questions as just to remind you that last week was the topic of goodness creates peace. And from this, we talked about how mind and body's unity is very important, right? So let's reflect through these questions. First question is, why is cheating on a test wrong? Maybe each question we can have a different volunteer. Does anyone want to start? Okay, anyways, I can do the first one. So let's think about, why is cheating on a test wrong? If we think about, I think we all know that cheating on a test is wrong, first of all. This is known. But if we think about mind and body unity kind of setting, and we think about it from that perspective, let's say that the mind knows that the test is originally to check our ability and is not just to get good grades, right? But it is these grades are about to tell us how smart we are and how much we are capable of. So our mind or our heart knows that if we make an effort, we are smart enough to do this, we're able to do this by ourselves. But then when do we cheat is when we kind of give up on making effort. And maybe that's especially our body's side, when our body is kind of tired. Oh, I don't want to think. I don't want to take time to study. And sometimes we cheat because we didn't study. And maybe that's because, we did other things and we skipped studying and we procrastinated, for example. Then that's because our mind was not making an effort for this, right? So then in that moment, we take kind of the easy way out, which is cheating, instead of listening to our mind that we are capable of doing this without cheating. So that is why cheating on a test is wrong. Thinking about the mind and body priority principle. So yeah, this is something that I could share from this question. So maybe we can have another volunteer for the next one, which is, why using illicit drugs or smoking or underage drinking is wrong? Can anyone else answer this question?
I can answer if there is no one else.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, first of all, I think of our body as like our body is like a holy, yeah. It's the temple of God and it's something holy. And when we take drugs or smoking or any of these kind of not good things, just we are hurting ourselves actually. And another thing also is when especially of course like addicts, they just lose control over themselves, because then if someone gets like drunk from alcohol or gets drugs, and most of the time this leads to addiction, then you just a person loses control over him or herself. So I think this is that's why is really is not good, and of course it's like against our conscious, in our conscious, or of course from our parents' education. I mean, I remember since I was young, my parents always told me smoking is not good, the drug is not good. I was going to America, and they always like told me, yeah. So this was for me very clear, even though I had friends who kind of told me, Yola, would you like to try? But for me it was like a no. So yeah, that's why I think it's not good to get engaged into these things, illicit drugs or alcohol or whatever. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Very good answer to this question. Thank you so much. And next and last question, what is similar between cheating on a test and taking drugs? Maybe someone else can try to think and answer about this question. What is similar between cheating on a test and taking drugs? Any volunteers?
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Good to see you. We are reflecting through questions from last week. If you would like to join us now, that would be nice as well. But anyways, we talked about why is cheating on a test wrong and why smoking or using drugs and underage drinking is wrong. So now the last question is what is similar between cheating on a test and taking drugs? Anyways, if we don't have any volunteers from my perspective, I think first of all, it is I could say that both of them we know in our minds that cheating is wrong, that taking drugs is wrong, but somehow when something pressures us and then something happens and then we realize that we are already cheating or something happens and we couldn't stop ourselves from getting out of the situation by ourselves, then we start cheating or in a higher level taking drugs. And these are actually also hurting ourselves as people, right? Because when we cheat on a test, actually we are capable of doing the test by ourselves. And when we're taking drugs to feel better or to forget about our problems, actually we can take care of our problems with ourselves if we only just try and take time and that's kind of like an escaping way to deal with our problems by ourselves and take time to reflect with ourselves. So for me, this is something that is similar between cheating and taking drugs. And of course, it's not, we can't compare cheating on the test, okay, but taking drugs. But actually, they're both kind of very similar, and we can really think about this way, how important it is in our lives to be to listen to our mind and be straightforward with not just in front of other people, but in front of ourselves. So this is from my side. Anyways, thank you so much for those who could answer some of the previous questions, and those who joined with us, welcome back. It's great to see you. And if possible, please turn on your camera so that we can see your beautiful faces. And anyways, if you want to reflect on these questions, they're on the group. We can put it on the group chat, no problem. And without further ado, I would like to come back to our main lecture today. So our topic today is siblings love, brothers and sisters love. And today's lecturer is our beloved sister, Sarah Ahmed. She's the Youth and Students for Peace in the Middle East director. So let's welcome Sarah with a round of virtual applause.
Thank you. Thank you, Mickey. And thank you to everyone. It's good to see you. Okay, so we will continue with our lectures. Today we are talking about the siblings love. And actually, when I was preparing the presentation, I felt like this is so important, but people don't think so much about it. So I just want to emphasize this topic is very important, but in our society, we don't think so much about the importance of the dynamics in the siblings realm, siblings relationship, how it is so important to invest in it so that when we go out of our families, we can do well and we can have a good character. So let's see today what we will talk about. So siblings love, particularly meaning brother and sister love. Of course, you can have a brother and a brother. You have a brother, you have a sister. It doesn't matter, but basically, brothers and sisters. And this is a very nice analogy that brothers and sisters are like the branches of a tree. So they go everywhere and they grow in different direction. You go up, you go right, you go left, you go down, but then they have the same root, right? They have a common root, and the common roots are the parents. So the parents are the same, but then the branches are growing and they're growing in different directions. This is very important, and it means that we come from our parents, and our relationship is based also on our parents' relationships. So it's important here that to have a true brother-sister relationship or true brother-sister love is based on three things. Number one is that we have one set of parents, and I'm going to talk about that. And then number two is that it teaches responsibility. And then the last thing is that it is protective in nature. So we're going to talk about each constituents of this true brother-sister love. So one set of parents, it can mean, of course, it can mean within it biological parents or the parents who raise up the kids, but basically it's the same parents. They have the same parents, okay, and which means they have the same origin, okay, and the same love, common origin, common love, and this bind them together in a family. Of course, maybe for some children, the parents that they raise them are not their birth parents, which is okay, but then they have a common love, they have a common love. And even sometimes you have children who are raised by their birth parents, but they don't receive the love of their parents, right? It happens in some situations. So there are difficulties there. But to have really this true love, true genuine relationship, there has to be complementary, that the parents are there, they are the origin or they are the carers from the beginning, you receive their love, and then together you are bound, the brother and sister are bound into one family. So if I ask a question, we are also, sometimes we talk about each other as brothers and sisters, right? This is something very common in people together with each other, especially maybe from a religious point of view, because it's more focused on value or focused on bonding. But if we think of that like we are as a human beings, right? We are human beings, so we are like brothers and sisters. Who do you think is our common parent? Do we have a common parent or a common root? If I ask you, what is our common origin or our common root? What is that? Okay, what do you think, Sarah? What is our common origin or common root? I see there is a message. Oh, Adam and Eve. Yeah, that's a good answer. Great, great, Adam and Eve. So what is the common root of Adam and Eve? Adam and Eve also, they were like a brother and a sister. Good answer. Okay, so the common root for Adam and Eve is God, yeah? Yeah, God. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ru'a. That the common root is God, right? So we can think of God as the origin, whatever way we think of it, the source of love, but it all fits as this figure who is the source of love, the source of origin, the source of life. It is God. So God is our common parent figure, or from that perspective. And it's really nice what Father Moon said. This is some of Father Moon said so many things. Okay, this is just part of it. He said that God is the original parent. He said God is the original parent of all humanity. But he is not a parent in a parochial, narrow sense, existing only for a certain religion or a certain race or the residents of a certain region. You may call him by any name. You call him Jehovah, you call him Allah, you call him Yahweh, whatever name you call him or anything, but he is still God, whatever name you call him. He is the God that is the source, that's the source of love. So we are all like one human family, one unit of brothers and sisters, despite our different nationalities, our different languages, different religions, and we are this one human family whose source is one God, and this God has different names, as we can see in different religions or different cultures, but it's the same root if we think of the tree analogy. And this is very good. So this is important. So, so because of that, because of having one common parent, it helps us to be united. It helps us to have this sense of, okay, we are together, we are the same, that we are not separate from each other. So that's why this way we grow in the family as siblings in this kind of love or that understanding helps us also when we reflect it on the community, the bigger community or the world, that we see others as our siblings and we have the common origin. So we interact with each other the same way we interact with our birth or our brothers and sisters that we grew up with. This is one example of how nice it would be. This is a song that was written based on this understanding. It says, "Neither race nor religion, no barriers can keep us apart. Forgiveness, true understanding. This is how it all starts." I think that is so beautiful. Yeah. So this is the first thing, to have this mindset that we are brothers and sisters from this one set of parents. Yeah. And this will help us be harmonious. The second part, which is very important, this is a very important component, is that it teaches responsibility. When we have this good sibling relationship, we learn to become responsible people. What does that mean? Okay. So it teaches responsibility by action. Through our own actions, through our own practice, that we learn to become responsible. If you know Benjamin Franklin, he was one of the US presidents. He said that, "Tell me and I will forget, show me and I may remember, but involve me and I learn." Yeah. So this is the best way to learn, by practice. Practice within the family, right? Practice in this protected environment, that we become responsible people. But here we have a very interesting explanation about responsibility, because people, the common understanding is that there is this responsibility and there is freedom. And there is a common trend in the young people, even I used to think like that, okay, I'm free, I'm free. I just do what I want to do. I'm free. I mean, well, that's what it is. But actually, what we try to teach her is that there is a link between responsibility and freedom, which I will come to it more in details. But basically, the points we're trying to explain is responsibility comes before freedom. This is something totally new. Nobody teaches this. Responsibility comes before freedom. And learning to share, of course, is a learning to sacrifice within this brother-sister relationship. And rules are an expression of the parental love. Okay? And the last thing is ownership and respecting property. We learn it through our relationship with our brothers and sisters, that we can learn to acknowledge each other's ownership, and we learn to respecting each other's property. So I'm going to talk now about responsibility and freedom. We have this example of this messy room. Yeah. And actually, it is so messy. So maybe somebody would think, oh, I don't care. I'm free. I let my room be like this and be dirty and it doesn't matter. But actually, this room in this messiness creates an environment of not being free. That we are not free to do what we want, because once we clean our room, once we do our responsibility, let's say, we are free to be, how to say, to be trusted, that we can be free, that we can control ourselves next time, that we do it on our own pace. For example, if we have you have your parent, and then your parent always, they want you to have your room clean, and then they notice that, okay, I notice, okay, I have my son Theo, and he's, let's say, 10 years old, not 10, maybe a little bit older, 14 years old, teenager. And then I come to the room and the room is dirty, and I tell him, Theo, please organize your laundry, please organize your bed. He says, okay. Then I leave it. Tomorrow morning, I come to the room again to wake him up, and the room is the same, even messier. Then I tell him another time. He says, okay. And then he goes to school, comes back. I go again. It's the same, and I say it again. So then I will keep nagging him. I will keep nagging and nagging and nagging, and he's not gonna like it. He will not be happy, because the more I nag, the more he knows that he needs to do, but he gets upset because he probably also feels that I want to do by myself. He probably has that thought. I just want to do by myself. I want to be free. I want to be free to do it when I want to do it. When I know that I need to do it, but I need to be free, that this is my own will to do it, not because you told me. This is something I discussed many times with Mickey, but that feeling that, yeah, I do it by my own accord, not because you told me. But the issue is here, because he was not responsible, he kind of lost that freedom somehow in that situation. Because I kept talking and talking and talking, and he wouldn't respond, he wouldn't do. So slowly, slowly, he lost the freedom, because there is no more freedom. If he does it anytime, it's not because he's free, it's because I told him. It's gone. So being responsible is very important. It's very important. The more responsibility you take, the freer you become, because then you take ownership, and you feel trusted, and the happier you become, and the more valued also you feel and you become. So freedom, interesting. Freedom is based not on fulfilling what I want, but on fulfilling the responsibilities that I need to do, in doing the things that I have no choice to do. It's very interesting. If I do the things that I have no choice to do, and I do them well and properly, then I can have my freedom. And I'm going to give you another example. It's really interesting. So two example is, I'm going to talk about two things, and then I will show you how the thing that I'm free to choose, and the thing that I'm not free to choose. So I will go to a restaurant, and I sit down. I'll go with my husband. We're going on a date, and we sit down, and then we're free to choose what we want to eat, right? They bring us the menu. There's everything. You can choose. I can choose a fish. I can choose a steak. I can choose a dessert, whatever I like. That's true, right? But there is a foundation that I need to achieve to make sure that I am free to choose. Do you know what that foundation is? You want to guess? So that foundation is, I need to pay the bill. I have no choice. I have no choice to pay the bill or not. I need to pay the bill, because if I pay the bill, then okay, I'm free to eat whatever I want, whatever I need. But if I don't pay the bill, I lose my freedom, because they're going to kick me out from the restaurant. You didn't pay. Or they're going to say, oh, you need to pay later, or they're going to yeah, maybe get the, not the police, but anyway, get the law enforcement. So that's one example. Another example with cars. If you're driving a car, you can drive wherever you want to drive to. I can drive from Dikwani to Beirut to Zaytuna Bay to wherever I want to go. Yeah? But I need to follow the rules. I need to drive on the right side of the road. I mean the proper side, not just the right side, but the proper side of the road. If I decide that I'm gonna go opposite the direction of the traffic, then I will make an accident, and then the police will come, and then they will they will take my driver's license, or I will go into a court case, or whatever. I'll go to prosecution. So this is very important. that you cannot be free without being responsible. So if I also phrase it in a different way, I cannot say I'm free to do anything without being responsible for what I need to do. Because if I do whatever I want without any responsibility, then it can affect other people negatively. And it has no accountability. It's not true freedom, actually. So that's for freedom and responsibility. And then another thing we learn in the family, we learn also to share. This is the social skills that we learn. We learn to share, we learn to sacrifice, and we realize actually when we share, this is a proverb, Swedish proverb. It says, a shared joy is double joy. Yeah, because you share, and then when you share, you feel happy because you feel like you gave something to another person, and then once you see the other person happy with what you receive, you're even happier. You feel much happier. And then the last thing is that ownership. We take ownership, and we learn to trust other people. We learn to respect their boundaries. We learn to respect that as a young person. I mean, I learned that with my brother and sister, if they have something that is theirs, I need to take permission. Can I use your toy? Can I play with your toy? Can I use your pen? Can I use your desk? And we learn to ask before borrowing. You ask permission. And then once you borrow and you use it, you return it back. And then you earn trust of the other person. All these things, even though they are so small, we learn it in the family, in our siblings relationship. So we talked about responsibility, we talked about freedom coming from responsibility, we talked about sharing with others, and we talked about ownership. That's the second part. Okay. So the third component, which is to be protective in nature, to be protective, which means that we learn to look after each other, right? We learn to look after each other. Few examples or a couple of examples that when you have I don't know if you had experiences, but if you are older or younger, that especially if the younger is bullied, then the older, they will protect the younger. Yeah, or generally, if you have a lot of siblings, then the siblings just protect each other. That if one of them is being bullied, you look after the other, or being even sexually harassed, the other can look after the sibling. And this is important because it helps us to have empathy towards others, and to prepare to be part of a community when we go out to the community. But one important thing, in this whole process is very interesting, that the parents are so important. Because when you have the kids, small and young, growing through all these steps that we mentioned, the parents have to guide, the parents have to teach, about responsibility, about sharing, about taking permission. And also because the parents have to be there, also the parents have to teach the children, or teach us, as when we were younger, to how to deal with mistakes, because we all make mistakes. This is also a very important point. We all make mistakes, and they are part of growing up. I mean, my son makes mistakes all the time. He's spilling milk here and there. He's throwing things on the ground, and I need to constantly, tell him, no, don't do like this, don't do like that. This is part of growing up. But what's important is not the mistake itself, but what's important is to learn, and to provide an environment, that the parents provide an environment where the kids can grow. And then the kids also, they need to learn, and they need to adjust and learn for the next time, so they don't make that, whatever that kind of mistake. But here there is one mistake that is so important for young children, for youth in general, which is to how to connect this siblings love. We're talking about siblings love. We're talking about brother sister love. That this love that we learn, we emphasize it in our relationship with others when we go outside of our families, and then in a sense also allow us to prepare for marriage, and allow us also to prepare our own, like if I say it in a different way, maybe our own sexual purity, or preparation, that we are ready to receive our husband, or we are ready to receive our spouse in the future. And this is something important, that if that's becomes a somehow, if we're thinking of mistakes or something that to be corrected, that is something that is preventable, that we can all think about, that we prepare, and then we are careful not to go into that direction. This is one important aspect. So, moving on. This is a quote from Father Moon, and he talks about loving my brothers and sisters. So he said, what is a loyal subject? It is the one who devotes himself only to the king. So he's asking, sorry, what is a loyal subject? Is it the one who devotes himself only to the king, a loyal subject? No, it is the one who loves his people like the king does. So who is a filial son? A filial son is not the one who devotes himself to his parents. A filial child is the one who devotes himself to his brothers and sisters like a loving parent. So what does that mean? I mean, I want to ask, what do you think this quote means? I want to ask if somebody would like to volunteer. What do you think it means? In connection to today's talk. How does that connect to today's talk? Any thought is okay.
Well, I guess it's like someone that devotes himself to serving others, I think.
Sorry, someone who's what through serving others? Can you repeat? Sorry, Paul.
Yes, yeah, like I say, I think it's like it's a person that can give us a lot, and instead of just receiving a lot. So I don't know if you can hear me very well, but yeah, someone that serves other people.
Yes, someone who can give a lot, not just receive a lot. That's a very good point. So from the parents' perspective, they want to see their children not to just receive from them, but they will be the happiest when they see their children loving each other, taking care of each other, and in this harmony with each other, right? So they wouldn't really love the one who, it's not about the one who loves them the most, but the one who can love their siblings the most. Because for the parents, they love their children. They love all their children. But if we take the if we change the words a little bit, like what we said in the beginning when we talked about the tree and the root, right? And we said that instead of siblings, we put humankind, and then the root, instead of parents, it's God, our creator, our origin. So if we think about this quote from that perspective, changing the constituents, so the filial children are all humankind, and then the root is God. So for God, who created all human beings as brothers and sisters, so God would love the most the person that doesn't just love God the most, but the person who would love all humanity and serve all humanity and take care of all humanity. And this is very interesting because it goes beyond our sometimes limited understanding. Of course, we believe in God and we love God, our creator. So that's good, that's important. But on top of that, it shouldn't stop there. It shouldn't stop there. Because if we really love God, we should love other people, right? If we really honor God, we should honor other people. So that is something that we can learn from the family, and then moving forward to our relationship with others and our relationship with the world in general. Yeah. So yeah, thank you. This is our end today. We don't have a lot of content. It's short and sweet, but I think since we have a time left, we can have some time for sharing, right? Sharing and discussion. And I would like to give you some time to reflect on this question. We have only one activity today, so maybe we can take time to reflect on these questions. One question, sorry, on this question, and then maybe we take 5 minutes and then after 5 minutes we can share. Basically, the question is, can you identify ways in which responsibility is linked to freedom? Yeah. And actually, maybe, sorry, before that, does anybody have a question? I didn't ask. Is there somebody who have a question? Maybe we can address that first if there's a question. Okay. Okay. No question. Okay. Okay, sure. Good, no problem. So let's take 5 minutes. Please identify ways in which responsibility is linked to freedom from your own experience. Yeah. So I will share some music, and after 5 minutes we can invite some of you to share this for the question. Okay. I think it was enough time. Yeah, so maybe we can have 2 volunteers before the volunteers volunteer themselves. I will read just one answer I received by message. Basically, yeah, so this is from Roa. She said, in my opinion, responsibility and freedom are connected because freedom means making choices and responsibility means accepting the consequences of those choices. When people act responsibly, they gain more trust and therefore more freedom. So responsibility protects and supports freedom for everyone. Yeah, this is a good answer. Thank you so much. And yeah, we have another answer from AJ. Freedom and responsibility are closely connected. True freedom means having the ability to make your own choices, but it also requires taking responsibility for the consequences of those choices. Without responsibility, freedom can lead to chaos or harm to others. Absolutely. Being responsible ensures that people use their freedom wisely, respecting the rights and freedoms of others. This is a very good point. Yeah, it can lead to chaos and harm. And I think that is something we need to think about, and somehow we need to also focus on it more, that it can lead to chaos. Very important. Okay. So how about people who would volunteer to share on the screen? Does anyone want to share what they think? Way that responsibility and freedom are connected? Okay, Paul. Yes, Paul, go ahead. Thank you.
Hi, hello everyone.
Hi.
I just wanted to share like a reflection, like that I
Yes.
received about freedom and responsibility that I heard well quite some time ago, but I think is very practical. It's like he just asked the person just put the question like, oh, what do you think is freedom? Freedom may you may think that freedom is you can do whatever you want, right? And that's kind of natural to think like that. But let's just say someone thinks that freedom is like eating whatever you want, as much as you want. And then at some point, let's just say if he eats a lot, it could be possible he become like obese, and then he will have sickness, and then he will have a lot of um, health issues. And how can you just say like that this, you know, these consequences are basically, his, how can I say, is in a way, representing his freedom, because now he has many health issues and he has to be, he's more limited. He cannot eat that. He cannot eat this, cannot eat that. And how he cannot, because he's obese, he cannot walk around so easily. And how can you say that this is freedom? It's more like he's chained, because of his version of freedom, because he thought he could do anything. So, and he said that, well, in the end, he said like the freedom is like, if like, if you want to eat something but you cannot, you choose to not eat. So freedom is so you can choose to do the right thing. It's not so you can choose to do whatever you want. And yeah, I think that was a very, very nice message. Thank you.
Thank you. This is very good. Thank you so much. Thank you, Paul. It's interesting. You said, so basically you're saying you can think you're free to eat anything you want, but actually you act irresponsibly, and then at the end you lose that freedom because you get sick, you don't have a healthy body, and then you're not free to eat whatever you want, which is basically should be the freedom to do what is right, which is very nice. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. How about Sarah? Would you like to share something?
Hi.
Hi.
So, I don't know if my example is relates or not, but about myself, when I was like teenager, my parents were very strict. So they, when I wanted to go to school, and my father always took me to school by car. But when I went to the university, I told my dad that I grow up and I want to take my own responsibility. So I started to go to university by bus or train or other transportations. So this give me a freedom to get to know with other peoples that I couldn't do it before, and this freedom gave me the ability to communicate with people around me more easily. So I think taking responsibility, it can open a
Sorry, Sarah, we cannot hear you. Yes, you were saying
sorry,
taking responsibility
yeah,
can, you were cut. Taking responsibility can.
yeah, taking responsibility can give us the ability uh, to experience many things that we didn't experience before. So I think, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, very good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Because you became responsible, you have more options now. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Very good answer. Okay. I don't know, Hadi, if you want to say a few words.
Okay, first of all, hello everyone.
Hello.
I want just to say sorry because most of the time I wasn't focusing. Sarah, I always have
Yeah,
the messages and yeah,
I
I was
saw you on the
replying to
phone.
my clients and
That's fine.
but I will just say something in short, in simple words. Freedom requires responsibility because freedom without responsibility can be dangerous. It can lead to chaos, to disorder in the society. So everyone will start to, for example, break the law, break social ethics under the pretext of freedom. So this will can make society unstable and unsafe. So freedom without responsibility is dangerous, and in the same time, responsibility without freedom is oppression. So a balance of both can be essential for just society.
Very good. Thank you. That is very true. We need a balance.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Don't,
also, I wanted to add something related
yeah,
to your relationship with your
yeah,
siblings, because that was the main
yeah,
topic as I
yeah.
saw. Maybe I entered a little bit late, but I saw this in the beginning. Uh, one of the most important relationships that you can build in life is your relationship with your siblings, because they are the only ones who will witness every single stage in your life, like from childhood to adolescence and also to old age. Like for example, your parents, of course, your relationship with your parents is so essential and important, but you won't grow up together, you won't grow old together. They will likely pass away on a young age. You're still on a young age. And also, for example, another example, your life partner. You will meet your life partner when you are already an adult. So your siblings are the only ones who are there from the beginning. So you should like feel lucky that you have siblings because maybe other people they don't have. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Very deep. That's very deep, Hadi. Thank you. That's a nice conclusion to today's talk. You're absolutely right. Good way to think about that. Thank you for sharing.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Hadi. I hope you can join regularly and we can hear more from you, inshallah.
Well, it's kind of hard, but I'm trying
Yeah,
my
yeah.
best, wallah.
No problem. Understandable. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you for all of your thoughts. Actually, I think everybody here shared somewhere or another. Thank you. You all have a nice perspectives. And thank you for listening today. And I hand over back to Mickey. Thank you, Mickey.
Thank you, Sarah. I think we can give her one more round of applause just to say thank you for the nice presentation and the activity as well. So, yes, thank you so much for everyone for sharing your thought as well. It was very fruitful. So, yeah, we conclude this here. So just a reminder that for every Tuesday at 7 o'clock Lebanon time, now the time changed. So for if you're in Turkey or Jordan or just check your time, 7 o'clock Lebanon time, 8 o'clock Turkey and Jordan time. And next lecture is going to be about solving siblings rivalry. So yeah, I think this is a very important thing. If you have a siblings, yeah, very important. If you don't have, I think this will be regardless, very important for you, for your friends and for your other parts of the family. So yeah, and that's why if you have any other siblings or family, friends that might be interested in joining this kind of activities and discussion, and of course, these beautiful lectures, then please invite them to join us online. And thank you so much for joining us tonight once again, and see you next week on Tuesday. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a
Yeah.
good evening. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for joining.